Hello everyone and welcome back to Arctic Retro. It's a couple of days before the Easter and I'm gonna go to a Easter vacation. I'm gonna stay there for a few days and I'm looking forward to that. But in this video I thought to take a look at this little guy. This is a mini computer. It's called the Cardputer Advanced and it's from M5Stack. Not particularly retro computer related stuff in this video, but I think it's interesting and fun anyway, and there's actually some retro stuff in here nonetheless. But first I'm gonna check out this. Before I start the real video, I'm just going to show you this. This is a Commodore 128 motherboard. I actually used some parts from this to repair and actually to test the 128D that I recently fixed and built. However, it's missing its VIC-2 chip, and this is a particular VIC-2. It's not the same as in the C64. This is called the VIC-2E extended, I think. It has more pins and it's only for the 128. So I found this on eBay and I found it on a TV satellite electronics shop. I think it was like 40 euros shipped, and these can be hard to find. It's the 8566 R3X. I hope it's compatible with the X. So I'm just gonna see if it works, and if this machine then still works. It was working when I started lending parts from it. Alright then, let's see. Yes, that works. Picture is a little bit strange. I think that's just some bad connection here. Yeah, now it's good. Then I'm happy with this. Back to working state, and it has served its purpose as helping me diagnose and repair the 128D. Now over to the actual video. This is the Cardputer Advanced, and I just wanted to show it to you. I have never used it or know a lot about it, but I thought I'll take a look at it in this video. I have a little bit of hard time finding time for making long project videos now, because there's so much going on at my work and otherwise. So I bought this on AliExpress, so I can't really tell if it's real or not, or if it's a clone, but I think this is the real deal. This is not retro computer related actually, but you can actually run retro computer stuff on these, and you can do all sorts of modern electronics stuff with it too. It just came like this with a pen. No manual, no nothing, and I think I paid like 50 euros for it, shipped from AliExpress. So let's explore it together and see what we can do about it, and I'm trying to figure out as much information as I can. It didn't come with any charger or even a charging lead. As you can see, it's a very small computer. It's a card size computer, but it has a lot of I/O stuff in it, so you can use it for a lot of stuff. It has a SD card reader, IA reader, and Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all sorts of stuff. And it features a ESP32 S3A. It has antennas and stuff built in and a very tiny little screen. So yeah, that's maybe a challenge. This tiny little, I think it's 52 keyboard. Yeah, it seems to be okay to type on. So what is a ESP32 then? Well, it's a small microcontroller on one chip, and it is used in many popular devices, including many retro computer related devices, and it's quite cheap too. So this is built around that. Yes, so it has a lot of I/O interfaces, regular USB-C there. That looks to be a little 3.5mm jack connection, speaker grill, button go on off. These are some I/O ports, I presume. SD card, reset button, IR, SV in and SV out, no clue. This seems to be like a programming port. And on the back side here it just looks to be just a layout of the different parts within this device. It has DC to DC conversion with 3.3 volt out, 5 volt out, Bluetooth, little 1 watt speaker. Yeah, and some ports. I'm not really sure what all this means. And it's a 1.14 inch IPS LCD screen. So I'm just simply gonna turn this on as it is and see if it does anything out of the box. I probably need a SD card with some software, and supposedly it should be quite easy to program and flash this thing, and there should be a lot of cool projects for it too. I just need to investigate a little bit about that. Yeah, ding, it played. It's not very easy to film this and have it in frame and also focus on the screen and get everything right with the camera. This looks somewhat acceptable. Well, it says go button go home, and that's the button there. Any key to start. Alright, so here we have some apps. So where are the buttons for navigating? Yeah. Scan for Wi-Fi, record, chat, remote IR, some command line, set Wi-Fi, and the clock and the keyboard, and yeah, it seems to have like a compass or gyro to detect the movement, stuff like that. SD card, LoRa chat. Oh, LoRa, that's like this long range, very low powered transmission that you can make from just a couple of small chips. Yeah, GPS. Yeah, I already connected the Wi-Fi, but I couldn't show you that because it just shows the full network name and password in text on screen. Yeah, I think it's enough with trying figuring out this without reading any information, but I always like to try out things before I actually read the documentation, just to see how easy it's to get going. Here's the web page for M5Stack, and they have a lot of different products and solutions for IoT terminals, and yeah, that's pretty cool. They have these smaller controllers that are have the core functionality and stuff like that. I guess they are specialized in specific tasks. Here's a little bit of details about the 3 different variants of the Cardputer. And we can see it has 8 megabytes of flash memory and different kinds of sensors depending on which type. But they're all based on the same ESP32S3. So as I understand it, they have a lot of small modules that together can be used to build up larger solutions, and they have a lot of software to run on those modules. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. The Cardputer Advanced is a programmable card-sized computer powered by the Stamp S3A core module, which is based on the ESP32. In terms of audio, it features an ES8311 audio codec and a high SNR MEMS microphone that doesn't say me a lot. And it has a high capacity 750 mAh lithium battery, combined with a low power design and independent power switch to ensure good battery life. And it has a 6-axis motion sensor, infrared emitter, micro SD card slot, an EXT 2.54 14-pin expansion bus for connecting sensors and other peripherals. It contains magnets for metal attachment and is compatible with Lego hole extensions. But I guess what a lot of smart people have figured out is that this little guy is suitable for doing various other things, like playing games or doing hacking, like figuring out stuff on the network, or Yeah, simply installing kind of hacking tools, much like the Flipper Zero, if you have heard about that. However, this is cheaper. And you can also buy some additional stuff for it. These two screws you can attach. I saw at least the LoRa antenna you could buy extra for it, so it doesn't have that functionality built in. Yeah, I find it difficult to actually get a good recording of this screen. Anyway, the built-in tools are just for demonstrational purposes and not that interesting perhaps. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But where's the fun in that? We need to see how we can actually change this device and burn some other software to it. And yeah, there's a section at Hackster.io where you can read and find a lot about various kinds of things and things you can build yourself and software, and both hardware and software, 3D print stuff. Then you have the software section at M5Stack page, and it actually doesn't list all the different things you can install, but for doing that you need the developer tool M5 Burner, and I guess for that to work you need the device driver and connect it via USB. But I'm not sure if you actually need to install a device driver first. I think I have installed some ESP32 stuff from before here, so I'll just download and install the M5 Burner for Windows. Yeah, and that seems to be just a zip file and not its own installer. Yeah, there it is. It's simply a exe file. Windows is bugging me. And here we have it, all the various things you can download and flash your devices with. It has a cross here for only official, and they have this UI Flow and UI Flow 2 stuff here that, as I understand it, it's tools that you can use to build software for these gadgets and devices. Not gonna look into that here. Yeah, here's the Cardputer. Let's take off the only official. So if we turn off the only official flag, it should show a lot more. Yeah, here's some hacking tools. Bruce and Evil Cardputer, Nemo. It's talking about Wi-Fi scanning, targeted Wi-Fi clone, de-authentication and stuff. Ultimate remote, Doom. Yes, of course, there needs to be Doom. And there's a Game Boy Advanced. Shark firmware looks to be a little bit, yeah, what should we call it? Suspicious. Advanced OS. Web radio. That sounds cool. In Spanish. Saturn. Firmware to do cool things with the Cardputer. Open Wi-Fi scanner. Meshtastic, Bus Pirate, hacking tool with web-based CLI that speaks every protocol. Alright, Game Boy, audio stream server, game station emulators, MP3 player, TVB Mine is a universal TV remote with some extra features. Gemini Chatmate, yeah, of course, AI is here too. Mini Winamp, that's cool. Let's see if there's some programming stuff here, like basic or, yeah. No, doesn't seem to have. So let me try then and install something. And I hook it up to my PC. And apparently it is always on if it's hooked up to a USB-C, even if the button is off. So it is still running the regular installed demo apps. And I already tested a couple of times, and I see here that the device shows up as a USB serial device at COM14, and also here as a USB JTAG serial debug unit, so there's no need for any drivers, it just installed itself. So let's try then, can we actually install Doom and run it? One thing that's important, you need to select Cardputer. If you forget that and accidentally installs firmware for something else, then you might be in trouble. You might brick your Cardputer, and that's not what you want to do, I think. So if I search for Doom, there's a couple of variants here. I think I tried this Cardputer Advanced Doom with multiplayer support and it didn't work, but we can try this one. Yeah, it downloaded quite quickly, and then you press burn and it warns you about unofficial firmware. Yeah, it selected COM14 automatically. I guess this is only relevant if you have several USB devices or serial devices with ESP32 baud rate. I don't know if there's any point in changing. Just hit start. Yeah, so now it burns away. And while that's happening, the device turned off, or at least the screen. Yeah, that took only less than 1 minute. Yeah, alright, look at that. The volume is kind of low, but there's music. It's hard to get this correct on the camera. This is the demo mode of Doom. I didn't figure out how to actually start it, but it has a demo that starts running by itself. Alright, it actually turns out that this version doesn't work with the Cardputer Advanced because you cannot start it. There's some keyboard mapping issue here. Anyway, if you have installed a particular firmware and then you turn the computer on again, it only has Doom then, nothing else. So you're actually stuck with what you have installed, but there's a fix for that too. If you install a memory card, I just turn it off before I do that, like so. Then there is a launcher app you can install. Let me try that. I didn't mean you're stuck forever with Doom. If you have installed it, you can obviously flash this again with something else. But it would be nice if you could select from different flash ROMs or images on the actual device, not having to connect it to your computer. And that's what this is. It's a M5 launcher, Cardputer and Advanced. So yeah, there's obviously some tutorial and support and GitHub stuff for it as well, but I'm not gonna read that as usual. Yes, it updated, and I'm gonna reset, and let's see. Launcher. Since you can select different sources here, SD, over the air, web user interface, USB, and config. If you connected to Wi-Fi, you could download things via Wi-Fi. I'm not gonna investigate that today, but I'm gonna check out the SD card option. Yeah, and here you see the folder structure. So to just download something, you hit the download button, obviously, as I did, and then it will be downloaded to the packages folder inside your installation folder for the M5 Burner XE. There under firmware, you get the different binaries. They get GUID as a file name, so I don't remember what is what, so I simply just copy those directly to the memory card. Obviously you would rename it to what it actually is. Do the same, go to SD. Yeah, and here we see the different file names, so just try the first one. So it simply installs it as firmware on the ESP32 from the memory card. Yeah, this is Game Station. So this is an emulator, but I have no idea how to use it. Various types of games, but obviously you would need the ROMs then. So to go back to the launcher, I just hit the reset button. I think you hold a key while launcher starts. Yes, I just reset and then press enter. Then I can select again. Second one. Yeah, that was actually the original demonstration app, but this supposedly has some more features. Well, it didn't work. Try the third one then. I just found some random stuff that I thought looked interesting. That's the Open Wi-Fi scanner. Yeah, and now we're into the domain of hacking tools, which apparently this is very useful and popular for. I'm not gonna go into that because simply I don't know too much about it and I don't want to promote those kind of activities. But I can instantly see that it lists a lot of different Wi-Fi networks here, and you can probably do stuff with them. Next one. Yeah, this was kind of cool. It's a dashboard. It's a car dashboard, and it shows the speedometer and stuff. if you're in a car, because this has accelerometer and GPS and stuff. Well, for the GPS you actually need that module here. I actually said that the module should go here, that additional module for LoRa and the GPS, but it's actually supposed to go back here. This is a Winamp, if you remember that from back in the day. That was the best, or it was a real popular MP3 player for Windows, and it actually looks like that. And you need to have MP3 files here. Now it just lists the content of my SD card, so I need to copy something. There is a few things that doesn't work. I mean, it does nothing. It doesn't respond to any keyboard presses or anything. So I guess there's some incompatibility. This was made for the previous Cardputer. It doesn't work for the advanced. And some binaries like this, they just give me an error. It says wrong partition scheme. Doesn't install. Anyway, you see what you can do. This is kind of neat. I guess the power of this is all the possibilities to interface with other electronics, and you can actually have several of these devices talk to each other and have like linking and multiplay stuff running if you want. There's also a possibility to connect an external screen, as far as I understand. There's obviously tons of things you can do with this, and with regards to retro computers, there's probably a lot of interesting things that you could do with it, but of course it requires some programming. You need some firmware, and somebody has to make that and come up with some ideas, and hopefully someone does. Alright then, that was it for this video. Funny little guy, this one. I hope you enjoyed this video. I just want to say thanks for watching and have a happy Easter for those of you who celebrate that. And a special thanks to my patrons. See you next time. Bye bye.